guys, welcome back. This is going to be part 9 of the Space Firebird. I have literally probably spent 5 hours today between doing other things working on this game. A lot of PCB problems, one after another. I did get the game up and running. I'm still missing the stars in the background. I went through 5 different monitors. 4900 wouldn't sync, and I believe the 4900 is a mismatched monitor. I don't think the chassis matches the yoke, so that's an issue. The G07 that I tried was just a pure white screen, so I don't know what's wrong with that. K7000 works, but it needs rebuilt. It's a little dim. I think the flyback's going bad, and it needs a cap kit really bad. I tried a newer monitor out of like a poker machine. That worked, but it wouldn't sync. So now I'm on a different monitor here that is a no-name monitor. I know nothing about it other than it came out of a Crazy Kong cabinet that I got, and it almost looks like a TV. It's just weird. I don't know what it is, but I got a really good picture on it, and I just need to figure out why I'm not getting the starry background. And I kind of want to go over everything as far as what I've done so far. I didn't do any recording earlier because I really didn't know what I was getting into. It's been a nightmare. But this is what happens when you buy stuff that you don't know, because it's untested, because, you know, the people had no way of testing it. But as you can see, I've got a really good picture going. Let's see if I can zoom in here. So this no-name monitor, and it was in a weird chassis and everything. The whole thing is just bizarre. I'm getting some weird feedback from the camera on here. Let me see if I can kind of get rid of that. It's a little bit better. Yes, that white flashing around the letters and stuff is not really visible in person. But it's just about fixed. A little bit of the bottom of the screen's cut off, and I don't know that I can get it any better than that. But we are definitely missing the starry background. And this board set does say Nintendo on it. There is a version that says Sega Gremlin on it. So there is a difference. I don't know if that's just a simple swap of a chip on the board or not. But I literally have a disaster going on down here. I have parts and shit everywhere. And I'm sure you guys have been in this situation before. Dealing with trying to fix stuff. And so what it started off as, I just went ahead and soldered these wires right to the pins because I couldn't get those to stay on. So somebody emailed me last night and said, hey, when you're using this converter board, and I don't know, I don't remember his name, but he emailed me. He's emailed me in the past. He sent me a bunch of pictures for Phoenix of how the wiring and everything goes in the cabinet, which I'm really grateful for. And I'm also grateful for that he sent me this information that I needed to run 12 volts to this board. Okay, and I didn't have my ground wire on yesterday. Never even paid attention to it. So I didn't have ground on it, and I only had 5 volts going to it. So now I have 12 volts going to this board, and it's grounded. So I got that working. When I got it working, the whole game was just glitched. It had like a little band of glitching down the center. That is it. So I started screwing around, and I resoldered all the pins for the ribbon cable on both boards. Even tried the switching power supply to see if maybe the power supply was causing me issues, and that wasn't the problem either. So now let's go in the back room here where I made even more of a disaster. It's like you start taking parts and stuff out. You don't want to like start putting it back away, because you know damn well as soon as you do, something else, you're going to need it again or something like that. So I did find a nice K7000 though. Needs washed and redone. So then I got into changing sockets on the video board, mainly just the video board, and that could be the issue on the other board too. On the CPU board, could be an issue. So I've been taking my fiberglass pen, cleaning the chips, replacing sockets one after another. The Z80 that was in it, it's a Z80A, which I don't know if a Z80A makes a difference between a Z80 and a Z80A. But anyways, I put another Z80A in there. The one that was in there had a bent chip leg. So I was like, you know what, I'll just pop another one in. I don't think this one's bad, so I definitely will hang on to it. This is a whole drawer of just Z80 chips. But anyways, I don't think it was a Z80 chip. I think the one leg folded over was definitely a problem. But a lot of the main problem was these piece of crap sockets that were on this board. These things are absolute junk. So what happens is these things get hot over time, and these pins, they're a single, I don't have to call them a wipe socket. I think it's called wipe. Single wipe socket. It's either a wipe or swipe. I'm pretty positive wipe. But anyways, these are single wipe sockets, and I could tell that some of the sockets, the pins on the sockets just were not hitting. So I ripped all these out and put in dual swipe. So these are single swipe, dual swipe. So if you look at the difference here, see the difference in there? You have a prong on each side. So when you slide that chip in there, you have 2 points of contact versus 1. And then when I replaced the socket on the Z80 as well, because that was also, this was a Z80 one, which is single wipe, which is a piece of shit. And I actually used a round pin one, which I really don't care for them that much, but I think they work really well. But the downfall is it's very, very hard to get your chip in there without bending a leg. But I got it in there. It took me a few times. It did bend a couple legs. I had to straighten them back out with some needle nose pliers, but I ended up using one of these for the Z80, so that definitely helped. I had to make some sockets because these ones right here, I don't have this with. I have IC size sockets, which are the narrower ones, and then I have the wide sockets, which are these ones. Okay, and these ones are especially wide, but you see how the pins jog in. But I didn't have this width. So what I did was I took a IC chip, cut it down the middle, and separated it, and just soldered each side onto the board. I mean, gotta do what you gotta do. I wasn't gonna wait for sockets because I want to get this game up and running. But so now we have it up and running. It is running on the original power supply right now. I am missing the starry background. I am almost wondering if I need to change all the sockets on the not the video board, the other board. The can't think of the name of it right now. Oh, a little frazzled. Been literally soldering and tinkering with stuff all day long. So all this is garbage right here, obviously. I got to give it credit though. These boards have very nice solder pads. They desoldered really well. No lifted traces or anything like that. And they soldered up really nice. So I'm thinking I should probably resocket the CPU board. That's what it is. There's quite a few chips though. I don't know. There's not a ton of information on this game. When you have like Galaga, it will tell you what chip does what. It'll say, you know, chip number E6 does your starry background. And you'll know to go to that chip to do that. And I haven't had that kind of luck with this. There's not a ton of information on it, so I don't really know. I'm kind of like a shot in the dark, you know what I mean? I'm replacing stuff here and there until I get it up and running because I don't really have any other choices. But that's where I'm at so far. I want to get the starry background working because it needs to be there. Now, is it just a chip, a socket is bad, or is it one of the chips that I need a new chip? I don't know. So this is that weird. So this weird monitor that came out of this Crazy Kong years ago. I bought 2 Crazy Kongs that were literally rotted to the point where I couldn't save them, and that's odd for me. But they were that bad. It had these weird brackets, and it kind of made it stand upright. But look at this chassis. How weird is that? And the really weird part is it took me forever to figure out that the first pin's green. Then I had to skip a pin. Second pin's red. skip a pin, third pin's green or blue, skip a pin, and then that's my sink, and it gets all screwed up if I hook the ground wire up. So I don't have the ground wire hooked up. I have to make a new plug for that, but that's not a big deal. I'm not worried about that. I mean, it's got a really nice picture. It's got very nice vivid color. So now it's just a matter of hopefully getting that starry background to come on. I wish the camera would pick it up a little better, but I think you guys get the idea. So yeah, we're missing like the Galaga background. Oh, and somebody decided that when they had this monitor, let's move all the convergence rings all around, way out of whack, and let's slide them, the whole convergence rings. Let's just slide those all the way to the back of the tube. I don't know why people mess with this shit. Just leave it alone. Chances that you need to touch them are not very likely. So this was slid all the way back to the back of the tube, and it was loose. It's still loose now. I don't think I tightened it yet. I have not tightened the clamp up, but I do need to tighten the clamp because I have it where I want it. That took a long time to get that to look good again. It was not easy. And if it's cut off a little bit at the bottom, so be it. You know, there's only so much I can do. So basically, just a very, 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 very little bit at the bottom of the credit and the zeros right there are just missing a little bit. I still have a little bit more tuning to do with it. But I think I'm gonna take the board back out. Let me take it out, and we'll look at it real quick here. And obviously, if I'm gonna change all those sockets, I'm probably just gonna do it off camera. Maybe I'll do one on camera to show you, and then I'll do them off camera and come back and show you what's going on with it. Because I mean, it doesn't take that long really to do a socket, but there's probably 10 sockets that need to be replaced on these. I'm just guessing because I don't remember. I've had this board in and out, but I think I'm done with the video board part of it. I don't think there's anything else wrong with the video part. I could be wrong, but I think I got that part figured out. That was definitely a big part of the issue. So I'm actually going to clip this side back in for now. And we'll flip it over. I'll show you the other side. Yeah, I was going to start recording, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't know. And it's going to be like a 7-hour video if I start recording this shit, because I don't know, you know, what I'm getting into. But if you look up close here, you can see. So every socketed chip has been resocketed. So I resocketed these, and these two. This one had a broken leg at the end there. So I had to solder on an extra leg I had from a cap when I changed the capacitors on the power supply. So I made a new leg for that chip. But and I resoldered all the pins on both boards for the ribbon cables. So this is the other side here. So this is what I'm thinking is I already put a new socket on the Z80. I'm thinking I should probably resocket these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because these have the crappy sockets on them. Could this be causing me not to have the starry background? More than likely, yes. I would say it's one of these chips, or could it be one of these two chips here? The 5K or the 6K? You know, maybe just these are not, one of these are bad maybe, and it's just, I need a new chip burn for here, which that could be it too. And I can't do that. I'd have to order a chip from somebody, but that could be it. But I'm thinking I should probably just resocket these 7. I've already done the other board. I already did the Z80. I think it's just probably smart to just go ahead and do these because, I mean, if the other ones are screwed up, what's the likelihood that these are screwed up or are going to get screwed up in a short amount of time here? So I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet and change them. So I'm going to go turn on my desoldering iron and my soldering iron, and let's get this board off of here while that's warming up, and then we are going to, I'll show you one socket and then I'll do the rest off camera. All right, so I basically blew off getting a bunch of stuff done that I needed to get done in the shop today, because when I get involved in something like this, it's just like I want to keep going until I fix it. You know what I mean? It just kind of, it bothers me. It's like, I just want to get it working. You know, if we don't get the starry background by changing these sockets, then I'm going to have to ask around or do more research and figure out if it's one of these chips and can I get one burned. I'm sure there's guys out there, Nintendo guys, that do these. I mean, that fix these boards. So these are pretty cool, these pins. They have this locking part. Pop those off, and then you can lift the board out. Ugh. Maybe it's easier said than done. Okay. Stick that board down there. So here's the Z80 I replaced right here. So that's the new socket on that one there. So now we're going to go ahead and pop out those other ones and change those out. Alright, my desoldering gun's just about ready to start beeping. It's flashing in now, so it should beep in a second. Should be ready to go. I do one chip at a time. I'll take one chip out, replace the socket, put the chip back in. They are labeled 5N, 5M, K, so I technically could take them all out and do them all at once, but I just kind of just stick with doing it that way. And yes, I did buy a tool to lift these chips out. Somebody had said something to me about that a while ago, and I just use a screwdriver most of the time. This seems to be a little violent. But we'll use it. I bought it, so why not use it? All these chip legs are in perfect shape. So I'm just praying that maybe one leg is not making contact on one of these chips and that's what's causing it. It's just a hope. Alright, so we are going to just take this upside down here. Of course, this sounds clogged up now. And I have a small tip on here, and my cleaning tool doesn't like to fit in this size tip. So I'm using a leg from a transistor. Or not a transistor, a cap capacitor. Okay, I could see the clog right there. It's just some non-melted solder. Yeah, there it goes. It's coming out now. I know I'm gonna jab myself in the eyeball. Jeez, a lot of shit in there. Alright. That's all clogged up too. Oops, wrong way. That sounds better. I don't hold it on there for too long. I kind of hold it on there, wiggle it back and forth, and I pull the trigger. You don't want to keep it on there too long. You'll screw up the pad. Then what I do is I'll take the desoldering gun and I'll put it on the pin and I'll wiggle the pin around real quickly. Just sometimes what will happen is it'll still stick a little bit on the edge of the hole. So by doing this, it kind of loosens it off that edge of the solder. You'll hear it when it's stuck and it loosens up. Alright. Now when you use your screwdriver, you gotta be careful. Don't go scratching the board all the hell. Just kind of get it under the edge and lift it up. That was a little excessive, but there it is. One out. And this is a 24 pin, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 24 pin. So we're going to use a 24 pin double wipe. I need to buy more of these. So what you do is just drop it in carefully. Make sure you don't bend any legs. You can use what is it, flux or liquid stuff, but I don't really need to worry. I don't use it usually. I don't really have much of a problem. So you just hold your iron on the pin and just dot a little bit of solder on there. That's all you got to do. Make sure you don't put too much. You don't want to bridge two pins together. Just clean my tip every row. I'll usually clean the tip up. Alright, so that's one socket down, 6 to go. You can see it right here. All soldered back in, nice and neat. I'll flip it back over. We will stick this socket back in. I forgot to show you, the board is labeled. Let's do one more on camera. And it shows you which way the socket goes on the print. So let's do one more real quick. Okay, and like I said, I'll go back over it and just make sure the sides are free, or the pin's free from the side. Got 2 pins that stuck, 3. Usually they'll just come out. Sometimes you got to take your desoldering iron and just, it gets hot really fast, so you got to be careful. You'll burn your finger. All right, so we're out there. So if you look here and see that little notch? That little notch indicates that all your chips go that way. Okay, so when you get your socket out, your socket has a notch on it too. So you put your socket in the same direction so the notch lines up. And that just lets you know when you put your chip back in which direction it goes. Because your chip also has a notch in it. Sometimes they'll have a dot, sometimes they'll have a notch. These fit together in here nice and tight. Sometimes you'll take a socket out and you will put a new one in, and when you flip the board over, it wants to fall out, and then you got to kind of hold it with your finger. And these ones fit nice and snug. Now you could put flux on it, the liquid stuff, and just take your iron and kind of just go like this and run it right across, and it won't let the usually the solder will not stick to anything but the pins. But you know what, I'm not in a super hurry. It's not like I'm needing to populate whole circuit boards in a day, so I just go about it like this. Okay, second one's in. Pop the chip back in. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. There was 8 total. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these. And look at the difference here. Hopefully you can see it on camera. How these chips fit in here versus those ones. See how those are shitty? And you see how there's a gap between this pin and that leg? Yes, it does taper as it goes in, but when these things get old, this leg on the chip, or not on the chip, the leg on the socket, it'll actually bend this way. So then it's not making contact with the chip leg. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these other 6 done, and then I'll be back. Okay, all the sockets are back in, chips are back in. So all these were replaced right there. I checked them all. The second chip that I did on camera, I actually skipped the pin. Forgot to solder one of the pins. But I caught it, so let's put it back together, and fingers crossed we get different results. Better results. I'm not going to clip those other parts on yet. Oops. I haven't even tried the soundboard yet. But I don't have any buttons either. All right, power it on. See if we get anything. Nothing yet. Is the monitor powered on? I kind of just have the wires rigged up. Yeah, it's lit, but we got nothing on the screen. All right. This happened last time. That power supply still might not be great. I think it might take a while to warm up. Or one of the sockets I put in is messed up. We might end up using the switching power supply though, I'm not sure yet. I'm just curious if it takes a minute to warm up. We got neck gloves, so. Make sure I have 5 volts to the chips. .8. Bet you it's that power supply has to warm up like it was doing before it turns on. I hate to turn the camera off because if it comes on, I guess I should make sure we have 12 volts. I just saw something on the screen. Nope, we do not have 12 volts. No 12 volts. That is weird. Lost 12 volts. That's not plugged in either. The plug fell out. Well, we don't have a starry background, guys. So, that did not help. But, if you don't do stuff like that, you never know. Don't really know what else it would be. I'm going to try to do some research for a minute and see if I can't figure out something. But we ruled out that it's not the sockets. Okay, no luck with that. Let's plug in the soundboard and see if we can get some sort of sound, and maybe I can touch a couple wires together or something, figure out which one is like the player one start, and see if we can't get sound. Once again, I have not tried this yet, so I don't even know if it works or anything. It's upside down. That. Okay, plug in our power. And this is our controllers. Oh, I gotta hook up a speaker. Which is these wires here. Looks like it has the original connector on it. So that means I think I have a plug right here. Ooh, this might be it. How awesome would that be? Plugged in. I think I heard a little pop in the speaker, but that really doesn't mean anything. Whoa, what's with the screen here? The hell happened? Why would plugging in the soundboard make the screen go green? Hell? That is weird. Plug in the soundboard and the screen goes green. That's weird. How bizarre is that? Huh. That's probably not good. What would cause that? That makes no sense. So now I got a new problem. I don't even know what to think of that. As soon as I unplug that, it comes right back. Ah, yes, the joys of troubleshooting. Why would it do that? I wonder what these are. I'll say that's the volume pot, which is all the way off. What the hell are those? Guess it's time to look at the manual. I will be back. Okay, as you can see, we have a little bit of stars going on in the background now. the ribbon cable is not used unless you're using a Nintendo monitor. This whole thing is just odd. But anyway, so now I can coin up. I put some coins in there, so if I touch my white to purple, that's player one start. And we do have sound with my fire. Well, I think we might be missing some sounds though. I'm not sure. Move to the right and left, I think. Here, left. I'm gonna watch a video real quick and see if there's different sounds or not. I'm gonna get shot. Where I put my little screwdriver at. Jolene, leave the cat alone. No, get away from the monitor. I don't want to get shocked. That looks a little better on the red. I think the stars, I don't know if that's what they're supposed to look like, but there's definitely some twinkling going on there. There we go. That looks better. Hi, Mr. Wolfie. So we have yellow, red, bluish purple. I think that's pretty close. And we do have some stars going on. I'm going to watch a video and see about what it's supposed to sound like. Alright, I am missing some sounds, and the stars in the background are not correct either. I mean, I'm getting somewhere, but it's not completely right. Coin this up. The stars should be pretty prominent. And I don't think they move. I mean, we're getting firing and the sound when you kill them, but we're missing other noise. But it is working. I mean, we're getting there. This is hard to play without moving and using some chip pullers. You know what? I wonder if the dip switches have anything to do with anything. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Number of spaceships, coins, score levels, and then just upright or cocktail. That's all it has. So I guess I'll end this video here. Just wanted to let you know that it's getting somewhere. It is playable. Stars are missing, sounds are missing. I don't know what to make of that yet. I'm gonna see if it moves right and left and everything. I don't know what buttons do what, or what wires do what, but we'll figure it out. Okay, what does this one do here? That goes forward, so now I'm flying. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Oh, just got killed. See, that should make a noise when I get killed. So now let's see what this one does. Nothing. Oh, that goes right. Fire. Left. So all the functions are working. All right, well, oh boy, let me turn the lights on. So that's where I'm at. If any of you guys work on Nintendo stuff and can lead me in the right direction to fix these final little things, I'd really appreciate it. I think I am kind of at my limit of what I can do. So I need to figure out sound. I still don't understand when the ribbon cable gets plugged in why it does that. It turns green. That makes no sense to me. Let me look here. I mean, it's showing it plugged in. 34-pin connector. But when I plug it in, the screen turns green. And I tried plugging it in and playing it with the screen green, and it does not give you any more of the noises. So, I am not sure. I'm gonna look up one more time the manual for the Nintendo version, because this is clearly the Nintendo PCB and not the setup for the Sega Gremlin. It's the same board, but I think they do it a little differently, so I want to look online real quick on that other manual, and I'm going to look and see if they use that ribbon cable or not. Okay, so on the Nintendo manual, it shows this board, shows the ribbon cable hooked up, and then it shows the two speaker wires coming from this board going into the audio board, which is on the EZ20 monitor, and then going to the speaker itself. But I still don't think that's going to fix the problem. I don't know why the screen would turn green when you hook up the ribbon cable. That to me makes no sense. Hopefully somebody out there knows a little bit about this stuff and can give me a hand. If not, I'm going to have to try to ask around and keep trying to figure it out on the computer. I mean, clearly they've gotten somewhere, but clearly something is still wrong. So, alright guys, well, that's going to end part 9. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.